Hey guys, so I'm just going to be showing you how to create the basis of a site model in 3ds Max using OpenStreetMap data. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so just go into your preferred browser and go ahead and open up OpenStreetMap. It's just that top result there, open that up. And then you'll be directed to this page. You might be required to create like a free account for OpenStreetMap. So once you've done that, you'll just be redirected to this home page. And then from here, you'll just go in and zoom in on the area you want to create a map of. So the area I'm looking at is the Swinburne University campus. So once you've found that and got that within the view of your viewfinder, because that's the area at which the image will be created, we'll just go and hit share, change your image format to PDF and hit download. So that's just going to create an image of everything in this view with lines, hatches and type, and I can see it's been downloaded there. Opening that up, yeah, we can see it's created this image, which we can then open up in Rhino. So once we've gone and booted up Rhino, we're then going to want to import the that map we've just created in OpenMapShare. So go to File, Import, and then navigate to wherever you saved that map to, and hit Open. Okay. And yeah, we can see that that's brought in our map quite nicely. It's actually got a bit of extra data around that, and that's okay. When the PDF is opened in Rhino, it unfortunately isn't scaled, and unfortunately all the information is on the one layer. So to get the building envelopes separated, which is what we want to do for the sake of this exercise, we're going to have to do it manually. So just clicking on one of those, we can do select color. It'll select all of the buildings of the same color, and we'll just change that to a different layer and call that building envelopes. We might have to do this a few times because it puts buildings or categorizes buildings by a few different types. If you're not exactly sure what those are, we can go back to OpenStreetMap and navigating to the legend panel, we can just scroll down and see what each of those colors equate to. And then going back to Rhino, I might just take out the rest of those different things, different building envelopes, put them on here, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I've gone and separated each of those building envelopes to a different layer and made it red, so it's sort of easy to tell apart. We no longer need the rest of this information, so I might just delete it. And so yeah, here we have all the building envelopes we want. The other thing we'll have to fix before we export this into 3ds Max is the scale. So we'll just go, say, look at this building block and see how long that actually is. Well, that is 212 meters. So the way we can check this is just open up Google Maps, looking at the same area, using the measure tool, see what that actually is. So yeah, it's only 135 in reality. So we'll just make that change to the Rhino file, selecting all of that, using the scale command, and changing that distance to 135. And then just double checking using the line tool. Yep, we can see that's 135 meters. Okay, so next we're just going to go and select all of that geometry for the export and go to File, Export Selected. Call that Building Envelopes and set that file format to DWG. And then before we hit Save, we're just going to go into the options, change that to 2007 Natural and go into Edit Scheme. Go into curves and just make sure that these are all set to splines. I've had issues in the past when you open it up in 3ds Max, it doesn't want to read it if these aren't set to splines. So after you've done that, just save as, make that 3ds Max 3ds Max, export, hit OK, override, just double check it is using that now, perfect, and save that out, and then we'll be able to open that up in 3ds Max. Okay, so once you've gone and booted up 3ds Max, we're going to want to import that Rhino file or DWG file that we've just saved out. So we'll go to File and Import, and then we'll just navigate to wherever that file was saved to. So here, mine is here in the desktop, and we'll just go and open that up. Usually these default settings are okay, so I'm just going to select OK. You can see it's brought those building footprints in quite nicely. So the final thing we might want to do is just extrude these to give our bit of a 3D effect for our model. So just go and select all of those, and then in the modifier list use the bevel command. That might just take a second. There we go. And then I've just gone and set this to 10 meters. We'll make that a little bit higher. Maybe not that high. 15 meters. Perfect. And then yeah, we can see we've just created this basis for a 3D site map. If you want to have it be a bit more realistic, you can refer to Google Earth and just go in and look building by building at how tall those actually are and scale them accordingly. Again, just using the bevel command and changing their height there. But yeah, that's how we can start to look at how to make a 3D model using in 3ds Max from OpenStreet data.